If you clicked on this video, I think you and I have something in common. You were probably kind of a weird kid. Don't worry, I definitely was weird too. Lately, I've just been really reflective on my childhood and how that version of me shows up in the me today. I've been especially thinking about this because I was on my old DSi. Shout out to the DS gang, the DS kids who would bring it on field trips, and then we would do DS downloads with the whole school bus. What in the world was I doing? What in the world? I was just the craziest little kid. What in the world? What? And I look back on these photos and I laugh, but then also I low-key look back on these photos and I'm a little bit sad because, as I was saying earlier, I have been reflective of how that version of myself is showing up in the me I am today. But when I do think about it, I feel like a lot of that version of me was lost. And obviously a lot of that is maturing and just growing up. But so many of us, and something tells me this might be you as well, we grew up in a world as this weird kid, and the world told us that you can't act like that. You shouldn't act like that. You are weird. You were maybe called weird by people. You were bullied. You were this outsider who didn't fit into a box. And because of that, you changed. You conformed. You stopped being that weird kid. Well, that's stupid because weird is not real. Weird is something that was invented by society for conformity. If you don't fit within this box, you are deemed as weird. But that box is artificial. And as an adult, I've been starting to unpack that more and realize that that version of myself that I shoved down, that version of myself that I let go of, that was a lot closer to the real me than the person I am today. And so I'm making this video to encourage you to go down this similar journey that I am, which is embracing this weirdness that you let go of as a kid. And embracing that childhood weirdness might make you a lot happier of a person. For starters, embracing your weirdness means honoring your inner child. A lot of people say the encouraging words of, the you of the past would be proud to look at and see the version of you that exists today. And to a lot of people, that's a very encouraging statement because if you're in a down place, if you're in a sad place, it really changes your perspective of life and makes you realize that you've actually come really, really far. However, I think that what would make your childhood self even more proud is if they got to see you enjoy and do the same things that you did as a kid that were deemed as weird, but as an adult, you're still fully embracing those things. I know that little me would be so happy to see that I still like anime, I still like nerdy stuff, I still love cartoons. In fact, the world is a little bit more open now to watching anime and reading manga. And I think she would be so happy to see that. So what is it that you let go of as a kid that your younger self would love to see yourself doing now? As long as it's healthy and it's not I don't know, eating hand sanitizer or sniffing Sharpies. Embracing your childhood weirdness also means doing things that you were shamed for doing or told that you couldn't do as a kid that you can now do as an adult. Like I said before, I'm so happy that I get to proudly display my love for anime and other nerdy stuff. I'd love to make a follow-up video to this where I talk about being open with your weird interests or just interests as a whole. Behind me, I have my beautiful framed wall and it has on display many of my favorite anime characters. And growing up, I know for you and a lot of other people, there might have been things that people like parents, peers, etc. said that deterred you from being interested or doing certain things. Anime is another example, makes a very good example. A lot of parents would say things like, I don't understand it. Why are you always watching those cartoons? Blah, 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 blah. Or for me, I was in the weird, tiny anime club in my middle school, and there were 5 of us, and we were definitely the outcasts of the school. It's so healing to allow yourself to do things that you weren't allowed to do before. it just feels so therapeutic. Even if those things were things that you let go for the sake of conformity, which, by the way, on the note of conformity, conformity is stupid, okay? It's dumb. I think a lot of us stopped being that weird kid just because we wanted to fit in. There were all these boxes that we created in like social cliques in school and society as a whole. And usually if you're the weird kid, you don't fall within any of those boxes, at least any of the boxes that are deemed as normal. And you probably desperately wanted to fit within those boxes. But at the same time, you were still interested in the things and did the things that you did. But conformity is dumb because, like I said, weirdness is not real. And society is so obsessed with putting labels on anything. This is something that's really big with like Gen Z right now, but I feel like we try to label like every single fashion aesthetic, and so many people are obsessed with like finding their correct aesthetic. Is it cutesy streetwear, kawaii, princess puff fashion? It's aesthetic, and it's like, who cares? Why does it have to be a vibe? Why does it have to be an aesthetic? Why does it have to be trendy? Who cares what is trending right now in the latest season of fall trends on TikTok, right? Like, just do what you want to do. And it goes back to honoring your true self, honoring your childhood self. I think that uniqueness is what's really cool about humans. The fact that humans have their own personal tastes and interests and quirks. Stop trying to fit yourself within a box and just do what you want to do. And speaking of doing what you want to do, who are you? Who are you really? Have you drinking water today? Water check. I'm actually being serious. Did you drink water today? Today I have this Pete's coffee cup with Washington, D.C. on it. I think it's because I was going to go to Washington, D.C. when I got this cup. I did not go for like 4 years until I got this cup. But I went eventually. But anyway, back to the video. Who are you really? This is the thing that I am still asking myself. And maybe I just triggered an existential crisis for you. If so, my apologies. But I think looking back to your childhood, looking back to who you were before the world forced its expectations on you, that is who you truly were. Again, outside of the immature behavior, just the passions, the interests, the things that really lit that spark for you. Who are you? Who were you? And how can you take that version of you and apply it to the you of today? And I'm still trying to figure that out for myself. And I hope that you do that for yourself as well, because I promise you, you will be happier. The little bit that I have done so far has made me so much happier of a person. It has improved my mental health significantly. And I want to see that happen for you too. And doing all of that, all the things that I just said, will also help you heal from the past. As the weird kids, we were hurt. We were hurt by friends. We were hurt by family. We were hurt by our peers. We were hurt by the teachers who didn't do anything when you were getting bullied, or the people who didn't stick up for you when you were getting picked on. There is so much healing that needs to be done, and honoring that weird version of yourself. Again, think back to the younger version of themselves. If they got to look at you today, don't you think that they would have the biggest smile on their face if they got to see you doing the things that they do without shame, without caring what anyone thinks? I think about her so much, and I hope you think about them too for yourself, and how she would be so happy to see us doing what we're doing today. I think she would also be a little bit confused though, but you know, shh, it's okay. It's okay. And I think the most rewarding part about embracing that childhood weirdness is connecting with people who actually have things in common with you. I, unfortunately, don't really have friends in this current moment that I have extremely similar interests with. But when I think back to the moments in my life where I did have friends where I had really similar interests with, those are some of the best memories I have. I still remember back in college when I had this big group of friends and we would all sit in my friend's dorm room squished together, and we would all watch like Demon Slayer together. And doing things with that group of like nerdy college students is some of the most fond memories that I look back on. It might be really tricky. Again, don't ask me for advice. I'm still trying to figure out how that looks for myself in this current era as a girly in my early 20s. But I think that connect with people that you actually have genuine connections with, genuine similarities with, where you don't have to hide that version of yourself that you just want to be. And in a space where other people can understand you because you have those common interests, because you have those common quirks, that is true friendship. That is true human connection. And if you do all of those things, I promise you, you will be a happier person. Am I saying that society will no longer judge you because you're an adult? No. But what I am saying is who cares? Because if you're happy, why is someone else miserable seeing you happy? How's it any of their business? Why is it driving someone crazy to see you do things that you genuinely enjoy? That is something that they have to unpack. And I understand that this process is easier said than done. And it's okay to still be figuring out those things over time. As a girly in my early to mid 20s, I know that there are other people like me, other people who are older than me, around the same age as me, who are still figuring out this process and many other processes of life, especially things that we feel like we should have figured out earlier. And that is why this is my first episode in my series of people who feel like they're late bloomers, who are just trying to figure out life as adults, specifically to my Gen Z girlies and gays and also millennials. So if that's something you're interested in and you feel like joining my community of bloomies, make sure you're subscribed and you're following my other socials where I'll be talking about similar things. Let me know how you felt about this video. Do you feel like this resonated with you? I know that there is someone else out there who feels the same way. What is a childhood hobby that you felt like you had to get rid of because other people deemed it as weird, but now you want to start embracing again as an adult? Again, I hope this video resonated with you, and I hope this video helps you start that journey to finding happiness and peace with that weird inner child that you let go of a long time ago. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye. Bye. Me and the weird little version of me. What is this? Says see you in the next video. What the heck is... I was a weird kid.